All right, so welcome to our radiant full moon ritual. And as always, let's come in and go ahead and settle in with our breath. We're going to take those 3 breaths, one for just to release everything, longer hours, one for the collective, those that are in our thoughts and our hearts, and then one for a special intention that we hold tonight. So let's go ahead and close your eyes and just drop your head into your heart space. And just take a deep breath and then let everything go. Remembrance of those that are in our thoughts and in our hearts. And then for that special intention that we hold in our heart tonight. All right. So if you have a candle, let's go ahead and call in the collective here. All right. Let this flame represent the wild spirit that burns within each of us.
The wild spirit that burns within each of us.
As we awaken our own wild spirit.
As we awaken our own wild spirit.
May we awaken the collective.
May we awaken the
collective.
My flame is going hot tonight. And there you go. All right.
Love it.
The flames tonight. Awesome.
All right. My flames are receiving a little too much wind.
Okay. Yeah, you're warm there in Atlanta.
A little windy in here right now. Okay, so the full moon is upon us. And of course, on the full moon, we'd like to shine a light on whatever our topic is and how that resonates with our intentions and sense radiant as we're focused on internal radiating out and this creativity. I just want to kind of remind you of obstacles that kind of continuously stand in our way. If anything comes up as we're shining a light on this creativity that we're doing and on any sort of inspiration that we have, is there something that constantly bubbles up or we stumble over or just feels a little sticky? This is the time to really focus on that. I have a creative expression of life. That is our mantra this month. So with that said, I want to open up the floor to everyone and just kind of get a feel for how this month is resonating with you. What is inspiring you? Inspiring? Why does that sound weird? What's your inspiration this month? Where are you finding creativity and are you?
So I want to go back to what you said before, because I found that so interesting. I'm talking about, like if we have a block that's in our way, and then especially if we continually find a block that's in our way, a lot of times it's time to look in the mirror. Because, you think about like that one constant thing that's following you. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times I think it's hard for us to take responsibility, to look in the mirror and say, is it me that's standing in the door? Because I'm always like, in or out, but stop standing in the doorway. Right? Because that's a very, not a cool move.
Right. Blocking the flow.
Yeah. But that tends to be a state of like, oh, well, I want to be out, but I don't, so then we get stuck in the doorway. So just wanted to put that out there because I know for me that I'm definitely have been guilty of that in the past. And so
Well, too, this month is, the master keys are creativity, but it's also activities. So back to what you just said, is there movement? Is that coming from within? And of course, alignment, absolutely, and I don't want to dismiss that or downgrade it at all. But shining a light, this full moon shining a light where is this activity coming from? And are we creating too much busy work to avoid, kind of like what you were talking about, Kathy, to avoid what obstacles continuously come up? Or is the activity in that true alignment? Do we feel like it's really resonating, not only deep within our bones, but radiating out?
Yeah, lots to explore. And we got a, like you said, a nice big shine on it. Couple of days.
No. Anybody have any feels for this month that you'd like to share before we start any sort of, the ritual tonight is super quick, super easy. So yeah, let's take some time. We can take some time now, definitely, and explore.
Yeah, I'll jump in. So I am noticing as like I've really been trying to be productive and creative and taking care of myself and the whole thing. And like Kathy checked in with me this afternoon and she's like, how are you feeling? I was just like, at the time I was like so frustrated because it's like, I mean, I will sometimes go days without getting communications from people and stuff like that. And then like today, like it just like it's some important people to me like called me and like it just really like got me off track. And it seems like every time I try to do something for myself, my creative stuff or whatever, somebody calls me. You know what I mean? And like, and because I'm an introvert, like I feel like I should take it because sometimes I resist connection and stuff. And so I'm kind of a little bit uh it's nobody's fault, but I'm hitting roadblocks, you know. And it just took me a lot longer to get everything done today that I needed to get done. And so I'm kind of just trying to go with like, okay, well, I got something done. And this is the constant thing in my life is that I always think I should be getting more done, you know. And someone once told me that the calls and the things that we get, like that's part of our life. Like that's part of being in relationship with people. And like that's just, you know, so I think it's kind of, there's just some going with the flow thing that I need to tap into.
So the calls that you're receiving, they're not necessarily people calling about situations that enhance the work you're trying to do. It feels like it's pulling away from. Is that what you mean? Acting.
I mean, they're both very supportive, you know, of me in my life. And so they were in need today of talking. And so, you know, I did that.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's kind of part of the give and take of relationships.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just like kind of when you were talking about roadblocks, like I was kind of feeling that. And so creativity isn't always like easy, you know, necessarily. I mean, once you get into the flow, it's great. But anyhow, that's just kind of what's came up for me today.
Yeah, that's a nice spotlight shine There's a better word for that in there, spotlight.
Like mine, a big old light.
Yeah, no, that's great insight. Yeah.
Well,
Or maybe I just need to turn off my phone.
well, I was gonna say, so
Set hours or
that-
whatever.
put it on airplane mode.
Yeah.
You know, it just automatically goes. And what I found is alerting the typically either family members or people that have tend to call in a certain time frame that, you know, if you're starting something new.
Mhm.
And then because I struggle with that too. So I have to, airplane mode or turn it off or something like that. So that, because if you know, then you feel the guilt. And if you don't know, then you feel like you're like, what I'm, so it just is retraining yourself.
Mhm.
You know, they say we only have so many truly productive hours of the day. And I don't like that word so much, but I like thinking of that as like your highest energetic level hours of the day, which to me can be seriously creativity, right? You know, it is when you're firing on all cylinders. Oh, there must be a dog walking by or something. um, so whatever that is, because everybody's supposed to have like 4 to 6, and that's it. And like being connected and kind of knowing what your hours are might be good if like only during that time frame of the airline mode, or just turn the ringer off and put the phone away during, during that time, if it's, even if it's just like 2 or 3 hours, sometimes, especially speaking of like dogs and stuff, it seems like working from home, there's like a 2.5 hour window of where at that point I have to get up and go to the bathroom. I might need some more water. The dogs want to do something. And so I'm like, okay, well, there's my break. Now I'll check the phone, but yeah, think about that. What's your, I don't like the word productive. What's your highest energetic hours of the day?
Yeah, the morning, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. It's the quietest and I can focus the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, I should just put it on airplane. That's a good idea.
Try that. And then the other thing to try is don't give yourself any meaning of what you should get done or not get done.
Mhm.
You don't know what that is, you've only made it up because of some external reference that you've had that you're
Mhm.
applying to the situation. It cannot even be relevant,
Yeah.
so watching that too is really, because as we know, this guilt serves no purpose, right?
Mhm.
Not
Yeah.
really anything beneficial, but that's what you're doing to yourself when you say, I should have done this, or I feel like I should that. And
Mhm.
that doesn't help the creative flow either, from my experience. Once again, all of that just shuts me down. So it's like, hey, it's just practicing different boundaries,
Mhm.
and do it for smaller amount of times too. Even at first, just do a half an hour with the phone off,
Mhm.
whatever, and just do, because I think there's even, I forget what it's called, but it's like the 20 minutes where you work for 20 minutes on and then take a break off.
Hmm.
And before you know it, we'll be back in the 80s. I'm not home. Sorry.
I know, right?
I'll call you back when I call you back.
I know. Yeah.
Or delayed gratification. There is none.
Well, there is that expectation though, and I remember early on thinking when text messaging was new,
Mhm.
I remember thinking, oh, this is so great. Like you could just get back to them whenever it's right there, or you could do it instantly. Like it was my first awareness with that
Mhm.
connection with the phone. And just thinking how wonderful it was, but
Mhm.
all that did was really kind of rope us into instant gratification,
Mhm.
instant expectations. Not only
Right.
we on ourselves, but we know others have.
Just put the
Yeah.
reader seat on.
Yeah.
The what?
Yeah.
On the iPhones, it says red,
The read
reader
receipts.
seat.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, honey.
Just to add a whole nother level of little stress, a little pressure.
I know, really. Well, I want to do go through the ritual real fast, and then we'll finish up because it won't take long. But I do want to cover it all because it is really in honor of Earth Day. This is our Earth month, our element that we're focused on. And, in thinking of all the different elements and thinking of the, and I don't know if you guys brought any of the items that was suggested. What we're going to do is represent each of those, but using the earth element as our base. And this is a way to get back to earth, to meditation, to grounding, to connection, and using it as basically we're creating our own little Zen garden. And if you have a Zen garden already, absolutely. If you have, let's see if I can show. If you have, just a basic little one, absolutely represent each of the elements with the candle. I got this for air, but you could put incense in there, a couple of the stones, here's some earth. I made this the water instead of like a little ramekin. It's like a little teeny candle holder, but put water in there. But you could use so many different things. And the reason I was suggesting things like a saucer and using dirt instead of sand, just different ways of, one, it could be an altar in your home. And you can use different elements in there, like a little shell to decorate or to put water in there. You can use, almost caught myself on fire here. Different like decorative candles, are really pretty. I've got the air plants in there. Absolutely. Decorate it however you want, whatever represents you. And it can be as big as you want. I brought in little stuff like, it could be a saucer. It could be, water can be in a shot glass. Like, it doesn't have to be gorgeous. What it needs to do is just to kind of get you connected to the elements, connected to something. And here's the key, something to move it around and to use it in a meditative space. Here is just like a little teeny wand. I brought little matches. You could just use matches just to move the dirt, to move the sand around. The little Zen gardens always come with like, cute little rakes and stuff for designs, but design your own. And that's the point of the creativity, right? Of finding something creative, something that speaks to you, putting it in a small area. And then if you want to use dirt instead of sand, take this and prepare it for seeds, right? And this way we're bringing in all of the different elements, right? Where we can kind of honor the seed and utilize that moment to focus on our intention into that seed and have it in that dirt, and then bring in the water and then take it outside and put it into under the sun. But a very simplistic and something we've never talked about before is actually having a little mini Zen garden and using it in times of, just like we were talking about, Kathleen, of like those moments of in between, those moments sometimes of talking on the phone, for example, and times of like you're almost that anxious feeling of like, I should be doing something else, but I know I should be here talking. I've had those moments of like, well, let's play with the Zen garden while this is going on. Right? That way you're still giving it 100% attention to the conversation, and it is a relaxation of the mind, an unwinding of the frustrations of the mind. by different colored sands. If it is something that you want to keep kind of like on an altar or a special place in your home that maybe is always very pretty. I mean, it could, if you have, there are some gorgeous ornate ones. I was so tempted to buy a new one that had like a bonsai tree because I want a bonsai tree for this month and I don't have one. But little bamboo shoots, or not shoots, but stalks or whatever. There's so many beautiful things that you could put on there and keep some gorgeous, not only decor in a beautiful area of your home, where people see or where you see a lot, but also to keep it fresh on top of mind, that mindfulness continuously.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's our focus for this month of honoring our earth element and representing every one of the elements and how important the elements are to the earth. Because you think, if you plant a seed into the soil, I mean, the soil itself, think of how just rich the soil, if you don't live in Georgia, rich the soil is itself, and how it's just waiting to nurture. And you start adding the elements and the magic happens. So partially, this is about being mindful of how they all connect, but using that earth element as our grounding force.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, happy full moon on that.
Man,
Yeah.
I like the idea of the seeds. That's what I think I'm going to do with mine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you can move that outside. It could become, of course, a potted plant in itself or something in the ground.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe just be a little portion of this and then transplant it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Just be a little section.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just got a bunch of seeds that I want to, but I need to sprout them. That would
Yeah.
be like a really get
Yeah.
some earth and sand, put them in there, water them, but I'm sorry, like a fire element.
Just throw a tea light next to it.
Yeah, tea light. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the fire element itself will be the sun.
Yeah.
When you think about it, that is nothing but fire. But if it's in the house or, you're preparing it for outside the big sun, the big fire, then maybe just a sweet little tea light just to keep it. Yeah, the point is the creativity and finding the beauty in it, right? Incorporating our creative juices to produce some art in everyday elements.
I like it.
Nice.
You could even use the tea lights that were battery operated. Would be fun to have it on
Outside or whatever. Yeah.
or have it on longer is what I was thinking of, like.
Yeah.
And with the full moon, we like to keep the candles burning, but if you're doing it for your altar and want to leave it, it might be nice to have the tea light or the battery power there
Yeah.
and burn your other one someplace safe.
Yeah. Or even like cute little fairy lights.
That would be fun too. All right. And of course, post them in the comments of the video here below if you are watching this recording or if you're on here live and you do make, if you want to post a picture. I always love to see like the end results.
You could make like a little mini fan,
Right, we could do all kinds of things.
and
couldn't we?
you kind of like
Yeah.
below the stuff
Uh-huh.
across the plate or something,
Yeah.
Yes.
creating movement. You're talking about movement.
So nobody's going to get any work done. We're all going to be working on our little gardens. Forget the work now.
No, I'm already taking photos. Yeah. No, but right, it's doobie doobie doo, right? It's in those moments of silent meditation, even if it's just for a few minutes. That's where the inspiration kicks, and that's where some of the most creative sparks that we can radiate out. That's where they come from.
Yeah, it definitely works. I mean, that's how, as being a creative person myself, that's how I've always
Yeah.
operated. I've made lots of interesting things, just kickstarting the brain,
They have so many, cool little bitty things that you can purchase for the Zen gardens. And that's not my take on it for our purposes here. It's, create your own, find your own, instead of like buying the cute little bridges and the little animals and all that stuff. There's so many interesting things that come with them. Little Buddhas or whatever, but just like find your own connections that mean something to you.
So I was just thinking about like another element. So there's this sound. I'm sorry, follow me here. So I learned recently one of the ways to get your dogs to stop barking is like make a loud clapping sound or whatever, and it knocks their brain out of that mode for a second of barking. Like it talks them, and I was thinking like it would be really like a little mini gong or something, like you know what I mean?
A little bell.
Or when we get just like when we get stuck and when we know that we're spinning or something, like sometimes,
That's
when
a
we
great
get stuck on
idea.
our phone or, just reading too much, whatever, like just to like get our own brain, like bring it back to the present or something. I don't know if you guys have little things like that help you
the gong. I like
get
that.
get out of
What a
get out
theme.
of stuck. Yeah, it's like it's exercise, all sorts of things work, but yeah. But I like the whole meditative element of what you're talking about with the Zen garden. Yeah, I never really totally understood the Zen garden thing, and the way that you describe it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, just something for each element and something to connect your intentions. Of course I threw the tiger's eye in there. That's what we're focused on, and an orange stone and a carnelian, and next month it could, it's like etch a sketch. Next month shake it and do something totally different. But for now, for this month, I think it would be interesting to get into a habit of doing that and not ignore it. But yeah, especially if it could be something, maybe Kathleen, to set on your desk. Yeah.
Nice visual reminder for you.
Yeah. Yeah, a little saucer, but you can make them as big as you want. Like you can use like a huge platter or something. You could use any size, anything.
I like it.
Yeah. So that is our ritual for this month for Radiant. Is there anything that you guys, what else has been happening for this month? How else have your creative juices been flowing or not?
I feel good. I feel good. I have adorned myself with what I said I was going to do and put myself out there, and it's felt really good.
So your action items for this month, you're knocking them off? Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I know it just takes that effort, but effort and application and like start with the intention, the whole thing. But it really is, it's that, being outside of your comfort zone and doing it anyway.
Yeah. Congratulations. That's wonderful.
Thank you. It is fun. I really like that. As y'all know, I like adorning my body and stuff. And so I found this amazing glitter and it's gold. And I'm like, I want to wear it everywhere.
That's awesome.
Because it does not act like glitter. But I'm like, oh, this is fun. Because, like that's the thing now, especially now that I have Naomi who's, 21, and you really like my brain still is very young. And I want to dress like with the glitter and things like that. I don't want to be the old lady doing this, but it makes me happy. It brings me joy. So now I'm just being a little more strategic the way I place it, kind of thing. But I'm like, that's really what we're talking about in our group, it's that self-expression and being able to be in a safe place where we can express ourselves and get out of our comfort zone without being, so much anxiety or something, and feeling confident, like be as an aging woman. And like I said, even as a woman, but I think age has something to do with it. And, just transitioning and everything from COVID to now, it's like, this is our first year, even though we thought last year was like the first year out, like this, I think is truly the first year since 2020 that people are really committed to being out there. And so I still think that we're dealing with a lot of residual stress and,
Oh, gosh, I don't think it's even started to unravel yet.
I don't think so either. Right. And so it's like, so to be able to go out, number one, and then go out and express myself and just, it's all of that, I think, but that's why I think this, coming to Lunenwald Academy and doing the rituals, doing the work is so important so that we can get a sense of balance and yet nurture and really be able to express ourselves in a place that feels good. So yeah, that feels good. How about you ladies?
Yeah. Joyce, you got anything? You don't have to,
No, that just made me the glitter, and you're saying you not want to come across like a, the old lady with the blue eyeshadow, but I'm always like, you know what? Do you? Who cares?
Well, I was gonna say, because
Like-
I really do want to be like that lady, but
But yeah, we were at a store last weekend. I was there with my mom, and there were these really pretty, they were kind of like the claw clips, you put your hair up with that are coming back now, which I love, but they were like butterflies and they weren't kitty. They were really pretty. Like they weren't bedazzled, or they were just kind of a marbly look, but they were in the shape of a butterfly. And she was like, you don't want those. And I'm like, no, actually I do. In fact, I'm still thinking about them a week later.
Oh, that's when you know. Yeah.
And so I will be getting them if they're still there when I go back. you know,
When you
it's
know.
like, no, actually, I really do. And that's okay. Like, that's one of the affirmations that Jennifer Lopez uses, is to stay youthful, like in mind and body. Like, and I'm like, hey, she's rocking it. So,
right.
and she says she has it all over her house, like her pillows, and like they all reflect her personal affirmations and stuff like that. So I thought that was a really good way to spread it around. But I love the whole garden thing. Like I've wanted a fairy garden forever. So
Oh, yes.
We're gonna see choices. She's gonna be all decked out
This
too.
morphs right into there, right?
I'm gonna put my butterfly clips in and go have some fun.
There
Oh
you
my God, I
go.
want a little mushroom.
And sadly, and I have to be quiet in here, but it's noise travel. But I don't know, she's kind of the example of what I don't want to be when I grow up. She's super negative and not youthful and complains, and I'm just like, oh, I've worked so hard to not be that. So, it's a good reminder of everything not to be, and daily let it go.
Yes.
That's not how I want to do it.
Find that
So,
balance. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, but as far as the month, I felt a lot of movement this month. Like, we're in a place I didn't expect us to be a month ago. And as far as the town, it's been great. And so as soon as I have my own space, it'll be even better. But there's just people kind of popping up. It's been crazy. It's like I haven't really had to do anything. It's just happening. So that's nice. I have missed that kind of movement that doesn't take labor or force or resistance, or it's just happening. So that's been really cool. And I'm trying to use the Mercury retrograde energy to mix with the Taurus details. I've been really trying to get as many things in order as I can so that all of the movement can be productive too, like building that container to expand and do the things. So
And keep that sensuality in there
yeah,
from the Taurus. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I feel
That
pretty
beauty and
comfortable with
appreciation.
Mercury. Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable with Mercury retrogrades anymore. It used to be everyone's like, oh, which I still notice the word thing, and I have to slow down and be like, okay, I know the word, and not get frustrated that it's not right there, and just take it as opportunity every time instead of frustration. So, but I see
Absolutely.
other people struggling with it, and I want to be like, I know what's happening, but you probably wouldn't hear me if I told you what it was.
Well, go back to the obstacle thing, that's all it is. It's a different perspective, a different way of
Yeah,
looking at it, a different way of doing it, because
yeah.
it's
But I
time.
enjoy Mercury retrogrades now because I see them as a time to integrate.
Yeah.
Like if you haven't slowed down to integrate all the lessons and all the work, and it's like, okay, let's pause and make sure it's all there and where it needs to be, and so that you can actually use it. So I feel like end of May, June, like I don't know what's coming, but I can feel it.
Yeah.
I'm doing the work. So it's been good.
Well,
Love it.
congratulations.
Thank you.
And I love how your hat matches your wall.
Oh, right.
Yes.
I noticed that earlier today on
Same
the Zoom. I was
shade.
like, oh wow, I do have a hat on. It's like blended in.
Earth, you got that earth down.
Yeah,
It's like a green screen for
this
sure.
is my chameleon look. So
Great.
Well,
That's
at
great.
1:36 tomorrow is the peak. So, we're in the energy now. We got a little time in there. And then that lunar eclipse is tomorrow as well. Now, granted, none of us are going to see it. But I do like the thought of that change of energy. It's eclipse season. It's not back to like what you were saying, Joyce, about Mercury retrograde. It's the same to me. It's just a reminder of these cycles of what happens. It is this time of going in depth and looking at everything. It's all the re's, like reflect, regenerate,
but
respect.
I haven't felt like it was slow though. Like there's still a lot of things going on. Like the movement is very evident. So it hasn't felt like that. How sometimes it can feel like it's dragging if you're resisting it.
Yeah.
But being in flow with it, it actually feels kind of fast.
Yeah.
So I've appreciated that. Like it doesn't have to be the timeline type slowdown that we think of when we think slow. It's just the energy is moving different.
Mhm.
So, but that's something I have noticed. It hasn't felt slow this time.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. No,
Nothing.
I can't believe we've been here a month already.
Right. Your element.
Yeah.
So we'll be back again tomorrow. 5 at 5.
Oh gosh, yeah. Everything falls at the same time, doesn't it? Yeah. There's the tarot and tea tomorrow at 5. And then Kathleen and I will be together tomorrow night, along with
Little
Katie,
full moon.
some others. Yes, that'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, a big full moon all the way around. I'm excited for tomorrow's tarot and tea. So I already know what cards to bring.
Perfect.
Yes. Yeah. So if you can't make it, or you're watching this and you watching it later and catch this that and still can't make it, just let us know, drop us a line, and we'll draw a card for you.
Yep.
For sure.
Perfect.
Okay. How we feeling?
Feel complete.
Good.
Yes. Okay. Let's do a little howling. Okay. Super deep breath in and out. The deepest one you've had lately. And a nice yawn. Okay. At the top of this breath, let it go.
Happy manifesting.